Yes, my people, welcome back to AFTV. Myself and James outside Emirates here to preview Saturday's game, Arsenal versus Brentford, 3 p.m. kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. We already know 60,000 seater. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. Premier League fixture. We are back. Arsenal currently obviously sitting top of the Premier League table. Brentford sitting in 7th. How are you feeling before we get into this? And we can discuss actually before we get into your feelings. Look how beautiful
it's amazing.
This stadium is just turning into
really
this
cool.
art. Yeah,
it's really good. They've done such a great job. Fair play to the club. You know, after speaking of the Super League, we know that that's sort of come back in some sort of form, but we'll leave that to another video. Ever since that, in the protests we saw, you know, on this very surface right here outside the ground, the club made a lot of promises and spoke about more engagement with fans, about giving this place a fresh look of playing and looking after it, about what they were going to do to support Arteta and the club. And on so many of those things, I've got them all in my head, they are delivering, have delivered, and more than anything, on the pitch, we're seeing so much that we're proud of. This is incredible. I love this. I think it's such a... I mean, look, we talked about it in the live, but imagine being a fan that comes from any one of these places, and not even just even the local Gooners, to come and see how much Arsenal's represented around the world. I said I doubt we'll even see an Italian one up there, because I didn't think there'd be so many. Well, there aren't many Arsenal fans in Italy that I know of, but they've got Arsenal South Italy over there. So when I was out there, I probably should have gone and said hello. But it's amazing. Yeah, it's really, really special what the club have put together.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's lovely to see. We spent a lot of time just before this preview, before we started filming, looking for all the different supporters clubs on the stadium. But let's get into this, James. Saturday's game. Firstly, feelings. How are you feeling? Obviously, we lost our last 2 games in all competitions. Where's your feeling at right now ahead of this game?
Well, I should be confident. And I mean, I'm relaxed. I don't know. I'm not sitting there going, 3-4-0 win incoming. But I'm certainly looking forward to the game. I don't have some nervous tension. I think we've gone 20 games now. 16-2-2, that's the record. It's an unreal record. Watching Robbie on the overlap, and Jamie Carragher made the point that people keep saying that you're not going to need the same points tallies to beat Man City or whatever, but Jamie Carragher rightly stepped in and said, well, hold on, we've got 50 points after 19 games, exactly halfway through the season. They're on course for 100. That is City-Liverpool form.
Centurion form, yeah.
You know, and okay, you expect Arsenal's form to dip slightly, what with the pressure, maybe some injuries, the Europa League knockouts, all that, cool. But you know, the form and the return in 19 games has been unbelievable from Arsenal. In fact, if they'd won the Everton game, I think the form Everton was the 19th. Am I right?
Yes,
I think it was. No,
20th.
Sorry, so my bad.
Sorry,
So on 19, which was the United game, that was the 50 point. My bad. So you know, we were fully on course for that City total. The 100 points they hit in 2017, 18, 17, can't remember which one it was. And you know, again, the Everton game reminded us that there might be a little bit of a dip, that teams are going to start figuring out as the season goes on how to play us, and that we might tire and things might become a little bit repetitive at times. But I trust this team to bounce back, because they have done well. They've had some upsets this season, and we're at home and we've got a good record here.
Well, you said like you're not relaxed, but my feelings, I'll be interested to hear what you guys are feeling in the comments below. But I'm nervous. I have a nervous feeling, only because yes, it's an all competition. We lost our last 2. I'm nervous because here's a stat that just shocked me as well. We conceded from set pieces in our last 2 games, and Brentford have scored from the most chances from set pieces, 14 this season, the highest team to score from set pieces. So that's a big worry. But if we know that, and I'm saying this now, I'm sure Arteta knows this. So what I would like to say, just make sure that is solid when it comes to Saturday. I'm worried about the set piece situation. I'm worried about if Brentford do get a result here, seeing a tweet from Ivan Toney saying they're kicking about on the lads in North London. Don't want to see that either. I know the joke's been prolonged. I know we're getting tired of it, but you know he'll be waiting. He'll be waiting to drop it if they get a result here. Another thing that worries me. And also, again, I feel like the team are going to come here and set up how Newcastle set up when they come here. They're going to be very defensive. And I still don't know if we're yet to break that down and ready for that.
But,
go on.
Sorry to cut you.
Go.
There's a slight difference in that the way Brentford went for it was... the way Newcastle went for it, and Everton, a really physical midfield 3 that could keep up with the energy of our football, that could really try and win the individual battles and try and suffocate the midfield. But they also had like a nice deep line that was able just to stuff out anything as soon as you got to the edge of the penalty area. No one was running in beyond. That just wasn't a thing in any of those games. Nketiah tried and did really well in the Newcastle game, but you know, it was a struggle really to get in beyond those defences. Brentford are slightly different. I think that latter part I've just mentioned might be the same. But whether they have the same compact midfield three now, I haven't looked at their starting 11s recently. We'll obviously have a look at that ahead of the starting 11 show when we go live and provide some analysis on that. But you know, the likes of De Silva, former Arsenal player, he might provide a bit of presence, and he's got quality on the ball as well. The likes of Jensen, though, is he going to be up to it, keeping up with the way Arsenal play the overload in midfield? Then they could go with Janelt, Onyeka, Norgard. You know, they've got some really good options in there, but I'm not sure they're going to provide the same steel, because they'll tend to go for a back three and a midfield three and maybe invite a lot of pressure. Whereas with Newcastle and Everton, there was a willingness to press us as well. There was a willingness to get in our faces before we really got into a rhythm. So we'll see how they, you know, approach this Brentford, because they also have transitioned to a 4-3-3 at times. Will they stick with that? A formation that's worked against Arsenal and Newcastle and Everton. So lots of questions. I think they'll go with the back three, but the questions will be asked of Arsenal. It's about whether they got the answers.
Yeah, Onyeka and Jensen, I believe I read up, they are returning from injury as well. So they are available, but depending if Thomas Frank's going to go with them, be very interesting. But they have been good for Brentford before their injury. Also, something I did read up on as well, which, you know, we're the only team this season to beat them in the league at their place.
Well,
in the league,
I didn't know it consciously, but also that doesn't surprise me. I know Chelsea went and drew. I know Tottenham, pulled it back from 2-0 down to 2-2. United lost 4-0. Liverpool lost 3-1 very recently. That's part of their form. We'll go into their form in a sec. But yeah, I'm not that surprised, because they've really made that place a fortress, and their atmosphere is a big, big part of that. But so is ours here. Amen, and again, I refer to that overlap video, not that they need my promotion, but Gary Neville said that when he was here for Arsenal United, he said the atmosphere is the best it's been since this place was built, and I agree with that. Robbie echoes the same. We've been here several times this season. We've been with the away fans. The fans have been unbelievable, and I think one thing going into that game, what's the early kickoff?
Is it Man United? I think Man United playing earlier. No,
is it Man United?
Man United Leeds.
There's a reason I want to check this very quickly. It's going to take 10 seconds. Right, West Ham, Chelsea, fine, which doesn't impact us. So the reason, quite weird to say when you talk about Chelsea, but the reason I bring that up is, since losing the game against Everton 1-0, Arsenal have had 2 psychological boosts before this game.
Yeah. City
losing at Tottenham and not taking advantage of that, and then United dropping points at home to Leeds, and still saying 7 points with 2 games in hand behind. Arsenal have an opportunity to win here, open the gap on City before they kick a ball, or are they playing at 3 o'clock? They might be playing at 3 o'clock, to be fair. I really should check the fixtures. But at the same time, it's then hopefully getting a win and getting back to form before you play City here. I think if we win this, and Jordan's been saying this for Arsenal, if we win this and then beat City at the Emirates, that is an enormous advantage. And now you're looking at the next game is match week 23, match week 24, and you're getting to that kind of, not closing end of the season. I think from match week 30 is the closing end. But the reason we're projecting and looking ahead now, because we're very close to the start of those discussions. So it's a massive opportunity, and I think those psychological boosts of United and City not winning and not taking advantage. I mean, United did on the weekend, but with the games in hand, not taking advantage of Arsenal losing. I think that's a boost for the team.
Definitely, and I mentioned about, and
the fans.
I mentioned that, we're the first team to beat Brentford this season in the league at their place. I got to remember as well, which I say in every time we do a preview here, we haven't been beaten here at the Emirates. So you're right, and it plays to the atmosphere that has been created over here, and that should build me more confidence. But Jordan's very right in that sense, even though I have a big qualms with Jordan from Forever Arsenal, because he rang me on the way into work today about Jorginho. And I have to mention it, sorry to cut from the preview, but I wasn't happy with that sign. I was happy with the window overall. I said I get rated at 8, but Jorginho was one that let me down. I think that's about a 4 when it comes to that signing. We had a big conversation. Next time, Jordan, I want to call you out here. If you're going to ring me, make sure you come with your facts, because you didn't come strong in the argument. You said about that I rated the window down. No, I did not. I rated the signing down, and you spoke about Jorginho, and you said, look, he's experienced. Why do you want him over Caicedo? He's younger. He's been there. He's done it. He's won it. He's won all these things. That's what we need in this side. When he comes on, people are going to look for him to play that last through ball pass and be that turning point. He believes that Jorginho will get us the Premier League title. It was a smart signing. So what happened to Everton? What happened to Everton? Were they looking for him? This
is like being the third sibling and two brothers are arguing. Because I heard Jordan come for you on Forever Arsenal, and now I'm hearing you come for Jordan on the Brentford preview of all things. So, just have it out. Just invite him in on a live, and you two just have the debate.
We need that because it was a very good conversation in the car. But let me go back to.
And I can imagine you two not holding back either.
Yes,
so.
we didn't even come to a conclusion. But let's go back to the preview now quickly. Let's go
but
to.
on that, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, because. There's a potential nice segue there. Jorginho.
Yes, okay.
One of the questions that Lee asked was whether we might see some rotation or something going into this game. No, none of us want to see it, but if Partey's still got a little bit of a rib injury, or is it fully there? Because, he came off against City, came off against Everton, he might turn to Jorginho. But then Sharoy rightly made the point that, I'm spoiling the whole of Forever Arsenal if you're not seeing it, but go check it out. Ryan made the point that Tomiyasu and Trossard could come in, not for rotation, but for form reasons, because they've been better than Martinelli and White in the last 2-3 games. So there's something interesting there to keep an eye on as well. And it would be interesting to see going into this game how Arteta maybe wants to tinker with the lineup at all. Have you got any of that in mind?
No, I'll be disappointed to see Jorginho if that's the case. I understand the injury concern, but for me, Jorginho got brought in to kill off games, have that experience. When we're 1-0 up, to be that mature head to let Thomas Partey rest and kill time. He's an excellent player to do that. I don't see him coming in and being a starter, whether for rotation reasons, and get us over the line. Our strongest 11 is our strongest 11 for a reason, and I think we stick with that. And I know if Thomas Partey's a bit injured, cool, but...
Well, we'll see how Partey is. I'm no joke here. I was playing football on Sunday. This was the day after the Everton game, and I got an elbow in the rib. This is true. Have I told you this?
No, you haven't.
This is an absolute true story. Not that it's not exactly the 8th wonder of the world. How many wonders of the world are there? Anyway, you get my point. 8. Is it 8? Oh, there's 8, so it's not the 9th. My point is,
7.
they're no
7. 7, yeah.
Fair enough. They're no jokes, rib injuries. Like, I got it and I thought, okay, well, I'll sort of see how the game. And then after, like, for the next few days, even up till now, and we're recording this on a Thursday, like, you just can't twist properly, or like, so, I don't know. Feel free.
So what, you want to see Jorginho start, do you?
No.
All right.
But if Arteta's wondering, I'm not available. I've a couple more out. But
damn, that was the game plan for this weekend.
I know. Now I'm really worried for Brentford. But
all right, let's get into what we do know. I love these previews. Right, so I've been mentioning Arsenal top of the league, 20 games played, 16 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, 50 points. Brentford 7th. And I was going to mention this, they've had more draws than they had wins and losses. They've played 21, so they played an extra game. 8 wins, 9 draws, and 4 losses. The match officials for the game...
Very few defeats.
Yes.
Only 4 for the season, so many a City.
Ooh. We have to mention as well the match officials for the game, Peter Banks. For VAR, there's Lee Mason. And I want to mention this because I read this up as well. No red cards for Arsenal this season. Joint, fewest. Have to mention that. That's good. Let's keep that record, please. We like that, and obviously...
let's praise where we criticise as well. I spent a lot of time on Tactical Insight going through all the red cards and why it was happening and could Arteta take blame. But Arsenal's disciplinary record on the red card front, touch wood, has been exemplary this year. So, and actually the way they've managed themselves through games on yellow cards, Jack is a big part of that as well. He's been getting yellow cards, managed himself brilliantly. Saliba and Saka had like 6 games in a row. I think it was all the way back from Leeds that Saliba was one booking away from missing a game, saw his way all the way through to the finish line, the new threshold for yellow cards, and now him and Saka are fine and played all those important games. So huge credit to the team for that.
Have to. Well, do we have the worst disciplinary record last season or the season?
One of them for red cards,
sure, definitely, because was really up there. But Brentford's last fixtures against Southampton, they beat them 3-0. Drew to Leeds 0-0. In the one before, Bournemouth they beat at home, and then they beat Liverpool at home as well 3-1.
And the one before that was West Ham 2-0. They won away from home, which I don't care what form West Ham are in. That's never an easy game. So they are in red hot form, and a couple of the teams we're playing. It's funny because we were projecting this slightly nicer run after January. Let me tell you, we had Everton with a new manager, Sean Dyche, the bounce that they were going to have. Then you got Brentford, who are one of the form teams, certainly in the last 5. Then you got Man City, who are one of the most expensively assembled squads, have won Premier titles, are the champions. And then you go to Aston Villa, who before their last defeat to Leicester, were also one of the form teams since Emery came in. So that's just the thing with the Premier League. It's unpredictable. There's never an easy game. Everyone has quality. I don't want to go up against Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
And Burmo's a good player.
He's my danger man.
Norgard, I think, is class. They've got really good fullbacks in Henry and Hickey as well, who we were linked with. Hickey, you know, quality. Raya, top keeper. You know, that's what we're coming up against.
Definitely, and we are obviously looking to complete our double over Brentford, obviously beating them 3-0 at their place near the start of the season. I was there, it was rocking.
Great game.
We even made,
Great
you know,
performance.
made a record. We brought in Ethan Nwamri there as well.
Oh,
remember people, I hope you guys remember that as well. That was really good. And nice, it was a good, comfortable game. I don't think it'll be the same now. Like you said, I think Brentford, they're in tremendous form. They haven't lost in their last 9 games, and I believe they're second when it comes in the form table, Newcastle being above them currently. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be difficult. Before we wrap up, your danger man and score prediction, James.
Danger man, I'm going to go Mbemo because, do you know, I'm going to change it. I was going to say Mbemo to be a bit different. He can get him beyond, but I'm going to go Tony because it's just what he did to Man City at the Etihad, and so he's got that in him. But I went for 2-1 Arsenal. I think I'm honestly just going to be predicting difficult games between now and the end of the season, because even if you're playing 15th in the table who are in bad form but aren't worried about relegation, have nothing to play for, Arsenal are now going to be, that pressure is going to start creeping into their minds. So we'll see if they play that same fluidity and freedom. If they do, if they come here and win 2-3-0 comfortably, you've got to say, well played, what a response. But I'm anticipating a tricky one, and I won't hold it against the team if they just have to get through a few, you know, get it out their system before they find their rhythm again, because January was tough in a lot of ways, and they came through that pretty well. So just 3 points is all I'm looking for.
3 points. I'm going to go with Mbeumo for the player to watch, danger man from Brentford. My score prediction, 1-0. It's going to be a tough one. As much as you just reminded me, we projected that it was going to be quite an easy run to the end of the season. It's not that, and I think this favourable, yes, definitely. No game is easy in the Premier League. Sorry, well corrected. But I'm going to go over 1-0. And hopefully we do get a comfortable win. I know 1-0 is not a comfortable win, but hopefully we do, because I need that confidence for the Arsenal side to go to Man City or when they come here, so get the win over them. So hopefully we get the 3 points and we move forward to that. Let us know in the comments your feelings and predictions for the game. Check out all the content coming away from AFTV. Download our app. We have an app. Go onto iOS store or go into Play Store, download it. You can get involved in Fan Zone and come chat with us and give us your feelings before the game and after the game as well. All the previews will be coming your way in the build up to the match. Thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, like the video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Come on, you Gunners.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.